Hey guys, what's going on? Justin bossnasti Silva, representing Call of Duty eSports. We're at MLG Dallas 2013. This is day number 2 in front of the PlanetSide2 booth. Sir, what's your name? What do you do here at PlanetSide2?
I'm a senior game designer. I work on the infantry mechanics, so the weapons and all that fun stuff, like the cert trees and all that junk, but you just need to check out the game before you know too much about that. But my name's Jimmy Whisenhunt.
This is your guys' first time attending an esports event or having a booth here, whether it's MLG or any other?
I mean, we've had plenty of booths out there in the past. We've had people out of DreamHack in the past. Just most of it is, a lot of us have been fans of esports for a long time, and you'll hear a lot of that from us. I mean, even all the way up to our president, we're huge StarCraft fans. I come from a 13-year Counter-Strike background. I played competitively for 10 years. I mean, most of us are very familiar with the scene. It's just more of a matter of what does the scene look like now, and what can we do to move forward? Because, I mean, these days, you see years where things get in a lull, and we want to change it up.
PlanetSide2, I would look at it as more of like an MMO, FPS / strategy game. How do you guys classify it? And was that the intent from the start?
It was. I mean, so this is it's an MMO FPS. FPS first. It's like an FPS MMO. I mean, in the corniest way I can put it. The goal behind the game was to make another epic experience like PlanetSide 1. We were the only ones to really ever do it, and we said, why don't we do it again? We've got the market for it. We've got the players. Let's do it again. But yeah, I mean, it's realistically FPS first. That is the #1 goal, is to keep this an FPS game. We don't want to dilute it down to anything else on the market where it may lose its appeal because of latency issues and things like that. It is an FPS first.
It's not just any FPS. This isn't like some freaking Call of Duty where it's just 8v8, 6v6, man. Y'all, can you give us some details about really how big some of these maps are in scale? I know Golden Boy, I was asking him yesterday, I was kind of comparing like Chrome Hounds maps, very similar kind of title with like the open kind of field. But can you kind of just give us some details about that and like what players can expect if they jumped in? So
it's very different. I mean, as you just said, I mean, it's 64 square kilometers to scale. So your continent you're on is massive. There's 3 factions, there's not 2. It's a territory war all over the 64 square kilometers. And it's not like you've got these 64 players, 128, it's thousands of people sometimes. And it's huge. I mean, these things come, I mean, you've got this game where you're taking territory, you're trying to find the best strategy, and then suddenly it meets up to front lines where the VS, NC, and TR, the 3 factions, I play TR, all meet together in the middle of the map to start deciding who's going to take their side, man. And you've got air, you've got ground, you've got infantry all coordinating together. It's something to be seen. You've really just got to see it.
How big can the matches be? What, 64 versus 64? Can it be bigger than that? Like what?
So this is persistent. Okay. So there is never like, you don't have to go into a lobby or go into a server. The first thing you do when you jump into our game is you're literally, I mean, I'm not kidding when I say this, you're dropped from the atmosphere of our world. And as you're falling, you see hundreds of people, and you're going, well, I guess I should probably start shooting when I hit the ground. So there's no lobby you join in. It doesn't end. I mean, it's a persistent battle. You go to bed, it's still going on. Yeah. It's a little more dynamic. I mean, this is more towards maybe a simulation of war. I mean, obviously we're way in the future, so we don't run around with AR-15s. We've got lasers and crazy hovering tanks and crap. But let's say you go take a base, and you leave that base. If you're not defending that base and the front line hits that, they take it. They don't have to zone in to that base. It's seamless. You could literally walk from one side of the continent to the other without ever loading. The different hexes or territories all provide different gameplay depending on the continent. Like one might be a jungly area, but there's a theme to the whole continent. So we've got a snow, a jungle, and a desert right now, and we've got more on the way.
It's almost like Grand Theft Auto, just this big ginormous game, this big ginormous city. You can go wherever you want. You don't have to like leave and then reload a new map. You are just in this ginormous world. Yes. And then you run over wherever you want. And then if you log out, that's cool because there's still like thousands of other people that are in there fighting for your faction on this war.
That's right, and that's so true. And it's, once again, there's nothing NPC controlled in our game. It is a living, breathing community that supports us. Like, without our players, we literally have no content. Our players are our content, so that's a lot of fun, actually. We really enjoy that part of it.
How do you go about winning? What is the objective? If I go in as my faction, do I get on a leaderboard? Do I have to go take over this territory, and then I can sign out, and then I can see like updated stats? Like, what's my mission?
So everyone's got something different that they like to do right now. When we released the game, it was in a really open state. There's no defined win condition. We wanted to see how the community was going to approach the game. Because in a game this big, it's kind of like, well, we can assume people are going to do things or make them do things, but they're never going to do it. Yeah, so the plan right now is we're going to start pushing more fights. So currently, if you played the game in the past, you may have got a little confused because it's such an open map. You do what you want. Yeah. And to some people, that's a overload. I mean, it's a lot of information. So the goal now is going to be able to take continents, and this is as we add more continents, you'll be able to lock people out. Okay. If you take that whole 64 square kilometers as a faction, it's not just you and your guild or outfit is what we call them, or your team. Yeah. You're working with hundreds of other people. You take that place, you lock everyone out, and to get back in, they're going to have to do something to get back into that continent.
Like completing an objective or something like that.
And some people appreciate going through their KD. You know, once again, we're in a generation of a lot of people play COD. They, like even in Counter-Strike back in those days, I want to drop a 30 bomb. Like that's what I wanted to be. So some people enjoy that aspect of it because the only thing is with our game and the continent caps, it's a long-term investment when you're playing. You can jump in and play for 20 minutes in some really hot spot action zones that always have action, or you can invest in the long term. So it's really up to the player on how they want to play.
How big of an impact is eSports going into PlanetSide2? I mean, is that something that you guys are invested in, and if so, how much, and what can we maybe expect?
Well, so that's part of the thing is we don't want esports to impact PlanetSide2. Like we want to impact the market. I know that sounds really weird, but once again, we talk about how you get the same story for several years sometimes where nothing really changes. And we want to bring the scale of battle that our game has to the competitive circuits. And a lot of people are wondering how we're going to do that. Trust me, we've been racking our own brains trying to make sure that that doesn't work because the last thing we want to do, we do not want to compromise what's happening with the players in our game. I mean, we want to make sure that the competitive outfits and the competitive teams are going to be involved in the normal game. And actually, as a matter of fact, I don't know when this is going up, but we will be announcing a lot of that Sunday here on the main stage with a Total Biscuit in them.
Who's your faction and why?
All right. Well, I play the Terran Republic. It's, you know, honestly, this is probably the craziest explanation ever. PlanetSide 1, I really didn't play that much. I was playing Counter-Strike back then at a high level competitively. I didn't have time, but all my friends played TR, and I jumped on and played, and I just kind of stuck with me. Like I had this crazy memories of playing TR and just stuck with it.
Okay. And why do you like playing this race in PlanetSide2?
Well, so once again, I'm one of the weapons guys. So I actually like the traits. I mean, when I came to work on the project, all that was already set in stone, right? I mean, it's not like I got to decide what the traits were. They're already there. Yeah. So they have a ton of bullets. They have a ton of people. They have like our cannon, like our actual tanks have 2 cannons instead of 1. Yeah. I mean, they're just a military, man. I mean, they're a well-oiled machine.
What are some frequently asked questions you guys get about PlanetSide2? And I'm sure there's probably some quirky ass, just dumb, like, why the F are you asking me this?
The most asked question, bar none, like, no doubt, is how much does the game cost?
Yeah, looking at my map.
And it's free to play. But, you know, when you sit down, you're not used to seeing AAA FPSs these days as a free-to-play. So I understand the question. This is get asked all the time. Even people who know me and have been in, they're like, man, I haven't played it yet because I don't have the $60. Dude, just go download the game, man. Come on. Yeah. But beyond that, it's just like, what do I do? Yeah. I mean, within an hour of playing, you're kind of a little confused. It takes some time to get used to the game, which is something we're resolving bit by bit.
How has the feedback been? I mean, have you guys been getting a lot of like esports feedback from players here? I mean, once again, the booth is freaking massive. I mean, there's like a freaking 20, 25 people right behind us right now that are watching some matches. I've seen the booth packed yesterday. Obviously, today it's packed too as well. What's some feedback you guys have been getting from some of these esports players?
Well, it's always how. I like the game. I love the game. A lot of them think it's a lot of fun. They don't always get it right away, but when you see galaxies, huge dropships with 12 people dropping into a tank column, blowing it up, and then, I mean, you can't help but like, holy crap, that was cool. So they're enjoying it, but the big question has always been, how are we going to do that? We're going to be announcing that tomorrow. Now, talking about getting feedback, we're really community-driven. We actually, community-driven development. We have an entire landing page on our website dedicated to this is what we're going to do in the next 6 months. Vote it up, vote it down like Reddit. Give us some comments. What do you think? We've actually cut, I don't know how many features now because the players downvoted and said, that's not something we're concerned with. Let's do that later. So we're letting the players decide. However, esports is something that we're really trying to make sure that we have a base. I mean, if you took everything everyone wanted to do with something with an industry like this, kind of hard to take feedback on all that initially.
Is there any way for like map editors or people to come in and say like, well, hey, can we like help design like a new part or maybe change a part of the map, and maybe they have like a really great idea? Are there going to be those kinds of community tools?
Something I can talk about. Our CEO's announced in the past at our own event, SOE Live. We are doing something called Player Studio, and it's already in a couple of our other games, as a matter of fact. So, like Counter-Strike, for example, if Gooseman went and made a map now, right? He doesn't make money from that. Okay. Now the goal is is if someone wants to make a new weapon model or someone makes helmets, I don't know if we're going to do weapon models, but it has to stick to our standards. If it's good, we're going to put it on our cash shop because we're a free-to-play game. People can buy it, and we're going to write them checks.
Okay.
They make money from the items they make, and we sell in our games. So eventually, no ETA, but I mean eventually.
With Dota 2, they do something kind of interesting where they allow for you to buy your favorite team's logos, and then when you load up the Dota 2 map, it shows you the banners like on their castle walls right on the outside, and that's a way for more teams to make money. And I think that's a big thing too as well when we look at esports, right? It's all about, hey, how can we promote the players? Because when you're promoting them and you're giving them that free promotion and they're getting more Twitter followers, now that trickles down to their YouTube, trickles down to their Twitch, and it allows for them to make more money, which now makes the sport more viable because now more people, more gamers are making a living gaming. Is that something that also PlanetSide2 is maybe taken into account or at least thought of?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's definitely going to be something big. And the reason why it's so big to me especially is that pro gamers don't make as much money as you think. We want to make sure that we help that any way we can. And the market is ever growing and it's always changing, but the goal is always going to be how many eyeballs can I get on my sponsors? The people that are allowing me to do what I love doing, how many eyeballs can we get on that? And I mean, anything we can do to help that, we're going to do.
Best points of the day or why you should check out PlanetSide2, give it to them.
Why you should check out PlanetSide2A is this isn't a gimmick. You've never seen an FPS like this. I promise. You have never seen an FPS like this. And at least I haven't. I played like everything. Number 2, best pointers. Get in the game. Join an outfit. You're gonna play with the most organized people you can find, and you want hundreds of players with you to help back you up and teach you the game, and the outfits are the best places to go for that.
Where can people find out anything and everything they need to know about PlanetSide2? And then, of course, how much is it?
They can go to PlanetSide2.com. It's got all of our information on there. Our social media stuff is literally all PlanetSide2. No TV on anything like that. Twitch, PlanetSide2. We actually host streams weekly on Fridays with the developers, with us, and some of the community guys. And the game is free. It's free to play. It is a completely free to play game. You do not have to pay a penny. Another side note on that is the balance of the game. You buy weapons if you'd like, or you can level into them and buy them with cert points. However, one gun isn't necessarily better than another. They all separate functions. However, I'm better with fast rate of fire. Someone else may be better with the slow rate of fire, more damage.
Networks, they can follow PlanetSide2 on Facebook, Twitter?
Yeah, Facebook is PlanetSide2. Let's see here. Twitter's PlanetSide2. Twitch is PlanetSide2. And
YouTube?
PlanetSide2.
Okay.
Yep.
If you can't find it, just Google it, nerds. So we all know you guys have computers. Well, once again, sir, thank you so much. I appreciate the time. So much amazing information coming over here about PlanetSide2. I'm so excited I had a chance to come over here to the booth and, of course, get some more interviews with senior game designer here, man. You guys are stopping by MLG Dallas this weekend, or if you're going to be coming to more MLG events, can we expect you guys possibly to be at more?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go, man. If you guys are coming to any MLG events, make sure you guys stop by the PlanetSide2 booth. I'm Justin bossnasti Silva, representing Call of Duty eSports. This is MLG Dallas 2013, Day 2. We're out. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Bike lane. Gamer Grub is available at these fine retailers.